very good morning to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world. What is he so happy about this morning? Why not, I ask. Hey folks, good to see you guys this morning. Thank you very much for joining us for the Wednesday midweek edition of, Gudday Grenada. I'm George Grant, and today happens to be the 13th day of the month, all right? We're gonna have fun over the next 60 minutes or so. Sharon's gonna be in here. I see that he takes a look off to his left, and he sees that Ernesto grabs the prize this morning. Yaman. Congratulations, sir. You've worked very hard. Congratulations. Now, the reason why I'm actually laughing here is because I didn't even know she was competing. But I see that Margaret is actually second here with her, hola, hola. So I guess for all intents and purposes, Margaret has now become one of our competitors. And it's just a matter of time before she beats the daylights out of you folks, okay? Anyway, nice to see you, Mags. Nice to see you, Ernesto. Oswin Lewis saying good morning. Bernard Gilbert, Fitzroy Adams. Buenos dias todos. Well, buenos dias to you too, todos. Fitzroy Adams. Jackie is saying, oh gosh, outside cold. She's in, where is she this morning? Jackie O? Okay. Anthea Rollo is saying good morning. Oh, it must have been too cold because the notification just popped up. You know, I couldn't help but notice on social media this morning, a lot of people out there. A lot of people are complaining about how cold it is. Well, I'll tell you, it is just gorgeous down here. Just gorgeous. So, you know where to find this. We haven't gone anywhere. We ain't going anywhere. Right here. Hop on an airplane. You got Delta, you got American, you got JetBlue. For those of you across the pond, you have British Airways, you have Virgin Atlantic, Condor. Is Condor still flying here? I don't know. Anyhow, lots of ways to get here. Lots of ways to get here. Now, Margaret is saying it's 23 in New York. Yeah, that's kind of cold. That's below freezing. So that's kind of chilly. Jackie O says she's in DC, but it's going to warm up soon, keeping an eye on the news. Well, I certainly hope for your sake that it does warm up soon. But come on again, guys, you know, it's the time of the year. And this is, where are we? Middle of November. You got the rest of November. You got December. You got January. You got February. And if you're lucky, things are going to start warming up maybe around March. So sit back, take a deep breath, and just join us here, because things are always warm around here. You know that, right? Just join us here. Okay, 4 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get down to business here. We're going to begin our program this morning with me reading a letter that was written to the new political leader, Madame Political Leader of the National Democratic Congress, by a lady who often refers to herself as we the people. I'm talking about Sandra Ferguson. I published this last night, and while reading through this, I thought, hey, why not? Why not share this with the gang tomorrow morning? It's an interesting piece. Interesting piece. So we're going to hear this open letter from Sandra Ferguson to Madame Political Leader. Today we got 3 cruise ships in town, believe it or not. We're actually going to show you some pictures of those ships in just a wee bit. Then we do have the national report. And in addition to that, another reason why he is so upbeat this morning, Wednesday morning. Just a minute ago, I got a little WhatsApp saying, I'm on my way. Sharon's going to be sitting in that chair right back. Take a look. See that empty chair? Well, Sharon's going to be sitting there in just a wee bit. Okay? So, Sean is saying, good morning, George and everyone. Partly cloudy skies. Lovely day here in the Azores. 18 degrees. Sean, you got 18 degrees, and he's so nonchalant about it. And people out there have 23 and are going, ew. Yeah? I guess you're used to it, fella. 18 degrees, eh? Okay. Jackie O says, the warm-up, watching the impeachment hearing. I think I'm probably the only person in the world who has not become obsessed with that impeachment here. I have enough on my plate. Enough. Kipling Francis is saying, good morning and sending God's blessings. Mosquito Man is saying, good morning to you, Mr. George Grant. Good morning to you too, Mr. Mosquito Man Leroy Frederick. And Ernesto is saying, good morning, Gigi and families. It's cold, freezing, started yesterday evening with a little snow flurries. I saw some places in the States where they got a lot more than a little snow flurries. Yeah. Settle down, folks. Old man winter is here. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Get started with this morning's serious stuff. This letter is addressed to Ms. Franca Alexis Bernadine, political leader of the National Democratic Congress. Greetings, Madam Political Leader. Your election as party leader. The nation has greeted with great interest and expectation your ascendancy to the office of political leader of the National Democratic Congress. It appears to be a watershed moment for women in politics in Grenada. Permit me to offer my congratulations and a few comments or observations. Congratulations, Madame, on your courage and bravery to serve your party and Grenada in this position and at this juncture in our country's history. Politics is brutal, perhaps even dangerous, more so for women. Political leadership of the party is pointing ultimately in the direction of leadership of the country. Your entry into politics did not come via the electoral route, but rather you answered a call to serve and became a minister via a Senate appointment. So you are starting a little handicapped, since there is no safe seat in which to field the political leader. I therefore hope that you will have a circle of persons around you on whom you can depend. People who have got your back, if you will, and want to see you succeed. I do not mean yes people, but people whom you can trust and will tell you what you need to know and hear. When the party leader succeeds, then the party looks good, and everyone associated with the party looks good, and confidence is built. I recall the shabby treatment and disrespect meted out to former party leader, political leader, Tillman Thomas, during his term as Prime Minister. I trust, Madame, that the entire party has learned from that episode and that your political colleagues will appreciate and value your capability and experience. Thankfully, maximum leadership does not appear to be the style of your party. However, a collection of bright persons does not make a team. And in the post-revolutionary period, We, the people, have bemoaned the fact that a lot of bright people occupying the same political space never seem to get their act together. I hope that a compact has been negotiated, that there are or will be protocols and procedures about how party business is conducted and its disputes are settled. Okay? You have, excuse me, just let me take this again. And that provisions are made for certain eventualities. You have served in the development NGO sector, which considers process, including conflict resolution and consensus building, to be the essential of a sustainable quality product or output. Process is of paramount importance to organizational building, and I trust it will become a hallmark of your political organization. If a party cannot take care of its own business, how then can the public have confidence that it can run a country? Traditionally, the women of the NDC party have been hardworking, no-nonsense people who, on more than one occasion, have brought a paralyzed party out of crisis, going back as far as the post-Nicholas Brathwaite period. Thus, the public recognition of the party, of the worth of its women, has been long in coming. Even though the party has been at the vanguard of advancing the rights and status of women in Grenada within the party, it has been slow in according that recognition and respect to its women. If one were to judge by the percentage of leadership positions held by women in the party and the percentage of women offered as candidates. Your party's political rival, the New National Party, understands the international political capital of these numbers and has done well for itself in this regard. Regrettably, those numbers do not translate into influence on decision-making and agenda setting, the improvement of the status of women in Grenada, or good governance in general. They are all wearing the same khaki cloth and the same cut as the boys. Clearly, in the recent elections of the executive, which brought you to the helm, an attempt seems to have been made to redress this gender inequality. And I note there is almost 50-50 representation on the new executive. Therefore, I trust, Madame, that under your stewardship, there will be concerted efforts to develop the self-confidence and capacity of these and other capable women and men in the party to hold high office. As you are aware, Madame, your party is under intense scrutiny. Indeed, sometimes it seems that there is a different yardstick by which certain interests measure the party when compared with its political rival, the New National Party. And there seems to be those who have made it their quest to mash up your party. So, the party needs to be mindful of distraction. Keep its eye on the prize and address its business in order to be seen as a credible alternative to be entrusted with the stewardship of the people's business. Madam, it amazes me how the general public seems to be always in the know in respect of the party's internal business. I believe that this is destructive and needs to be remedied. While party business is indeed the people's business, all dirty and other linen need not always be washed or aired in public. While one has to be sensitive and responsive to the public, since one is seeking their vote of approval, you, as political leader, will need to have your unique brand. I imagine, Madame, that soon you and your advisors will be shaping your brand and the party's brand. Among the questions of that brand, among the qualities of that brand, Madame, I hope, is that the truth will always be told to the public. I'm sure that you would not want to come across as any savior or knight in shining armor who's going to save Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. You are much too pragmatic. It is about educating, empowering, inspiring, and mobilizing Grenadians to save themselves, to imbue them with the confidence and means that they can. All hands and colors have a part to play and are needed on board in the business of building Grenada. None better than you, Madame, appreciate the dire plight facing some of our women and children in this country, as has come to the fore recently. You have made enormous contributions to the design and implementation of programs to address some of these challenges. Your party also has several experienced, capable persons in this regard. I trust that your party will have a clearly articulated agenda that it can begin to implement, even while out of office. That said, the men also have to be brought along. I trust, ma'am, that your party, if elected to office, will remember at all times that it is the stewards of the people's business and assets. We hope that at all times it is going to be upfront and transparent in its relationship with foreign investors and governments, and that it will not thrust its own version of development upon us, particularly when that entails giving away our assets. There must be mechanisms by which we, the people, can collectively participate in decision-making about matters of this nature. We appreciate that government is a continuum and that decisions and commitments made by a previous government have to be honored by the successor government. We are entering on tricky ground here. Madam Political Leader, on ascending to office in 2008, your administration inherited quite a number of these suspect projects. it is my considered view that the NDC administration of 2008 to 2013 had the sovereign authority to have rescued the people's property in Liverpool from the debt junkie, Paul Taylor. It chose not to, and played along with a so-called millionaire investor. And now, this property has apparently ended up in the hands of some Far Eastern group whose intent, it seems, is to create a millionaire's playground. Based on a video circulated recently, apparently, there is not even room for Grenadians to be hewers of wood and carriers of water. The debt junkie seems to have benefited handsomely, while Grenadians, whose lands were acquired, are still awaiting payment. One or two have even gone to the great beyond. Your party has to have a definite plan as to how it would negotiate such murky situations. At all times, it must be remembered and understood by all and sundry, Madam Political Leader, that there are no free lunches. Nations, institutions, and individuals are not parting with their money because they like us. Among the questions to be pondered are, who are they? What do they want in return? And whether we can afford it. How will our people be impacted? Negatively or positively? Our political leaders seem to have a penchant for being blinded by apparent glitz and glamour. They do not dig beyond the surface in their due diligence. And it has become too much the trend that Grenadians are expected to step aside and give up what is their own to accommodate foreign investors because they bring jobs and development. There are too many of these examples where promises have not been delivered, dreams broken, our assets alienated, and we, the people, are left holding the debt and or the white elephants. Enough is enough. So, Madam Political Leader, when the party is negotiating financing, it must be remembered that without informed people's participation in the decision-making process, the people's property is off limits. I thank you, Madam Political Leader, for the opportunity to offer these comments. And I wish you the very best as you embark on this new phase of the journey as political leader of your party. May the Most High bless, inspire, and protect you. Kind regards, Sandra C. A. Ferguson. Woo. All right. Sherron is here. Sherron is here. And she's been sitting there listening to this guy read this stuff. Sherron, I'm going to get to you in a little bit because, one, I want to check out the comments here on social media. Two, I have to bring the national report. But once we get that out of the way, you can have all the time you want. And I'm glad that you were sitting there listening to that from Sandra. Now, you guys have been busy here this morning. Let me scroll back and see what's here. Claude Putton is saying good morning. John Noseyneck is saying, I agree, the impeachment is a circus. Yeah, I'm not too preoccupied with that. Arthur Langine is saying good morning from a cold Brooklyn. Jackie O, it's about 25 here in Virginia, D.C. Lydia James saying good morning. Sherry Wilson too, and Fitzroy Adams and Chester Simon. John says, sadly, George, the truth is never, ever gossiped about. That's true. Ernesto Jose says, great piece from Sandra. Wait till you hear my piece. All right. John says, Camahan Park has gone quiet, and that's kind of scary. Yeah. I'm sure you haven't heard the last of Camahan Park. T.F. Richards saying good morning. Hey, T.F., are you on your truck this morning? T.F. is saying it's only after 5 in Washington State. Listening from my truck. This man is loyal. This man is loyal. Hey? Lydia James saying, what a masterpiece from Sandra. NDC, please take note. Coylan Nash says, I read that letter last night. Whoa. Yeah, very, very well done. And I'm going to let her know that later on today. Okay, Pilgrims, I told you that there were some cruise ships in town. So very quickly, let me show you the ones that we have in here. Take a look at that one. This one is the Seven Seas Navigator. It came in at about 7 o'clock this morning, and we'll be leaving at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Not a large one. It only has a capacity of about 490 passengers and about 340 crew. Then this one is the Star Legend. This one came in at about 8 o'clock this morning. We'll be departing at 6 o'clock this evening, even smaller, 212 capacity. I'm not saying there are 212 passengers, the capacity, 212, and only 153 crew. Finally, and here's the biggie, this one, the Azura. She came in just before 8 o'clock this morning. I watched her berthing here. We'll be leaving at 6 o'clock this evening. Are you ready for this? She has a capacity of 3,597 passengers, guests, and 1,226 crew. All right? So, those are your cruise ship arrivals for today. And right now, let Georgie Porgy take a quick little break here, and we'll come back with the GIS.
Christmas safety tips. Always unplug Christmas tree lights before leaving home or going to sleep. Check your tree lights and outdoor lights for damage each year before you use them. Discard lights with frayed wires, loose connections, and cracked sockets. Do not overload your wall outlets or extension cords. Remind children never to touch lights or outlets. Select lights appropriately. Never use indoor lights outside or vice versa. Happy holidays from Grenlake.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Because your vehicle is a necessity, being roadworthy is critical. Hubbard's Motor Department introduces its new tire and battery sales and service outlet located at Building Supplies Compound in Grand Anse, close to the Sugar Mill Roundabout. Available are a wide range of competitively priced tires, maintenance-free batteries, oils and lubricants. Keeping in mind your busy schedule, this outlet is equipped to provide you with fast and reliable service. Simply drive in and you'll be delighted with your service experience. For more information, contact 440-2087. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Why wish upon a star? Our bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, we'll give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Welcome home.
Government says it's not responsible for increment payments to TAMCC workers. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, November 12th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Government is not responsible for paying increments to workers at the T.A. Marisho Community College. Minister with responsibility for tertiary education, the Honorable Pamela Moses, made the announcement during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing. Workers at the college are engaged in industrial action demanding $6.1 million in increments for the period 2014 to 2018. Minister Moses says TAMCC is a statutory body which functions independently. She says Act 41 of 1996 governs the functioning of the college, and according to Section 7 of the Act, the institution should be managed by the College Council. Government provides an annual subvention of $14 million to the College Council as one of its three main sources of income, the other two being tuition and grants.
The government is not responsible for paying the increment as demanded by the union representatives, and as such, the present impasse is really between the council and the workers that are employed by the council. Now, who are the workers at the college? The college basically has two categories of workers, and they are represented by two different unions. The first category of worker that I would share with you about are the Public Service Commission workers, or PSC workers as they are called. The second category is the College Council workers.
Minister Moses further explains that government only bears responsibility for 35 workers at the college. They are employed with the Public Service Commission and have been seconded to the college.
These workers are represented by the Grenada Union of Teachers, and so have been benefiting from all the government negotiations, and of course there's more to come. Our minister here would share more with you. The second category of workers at TAMCC form the majority of the workers at the college. They are the council workers who are employed by the college council, and as such, their increments, their salary increase, and their pensions are paid for by college council, not government. The council is therefore responsible for paying the accumulated increment, which is $6.1 million for the years 2014 to 2018. And the total amount of workers under the council who were employed by the college council total 243 permanent workers.
Cabinet suggested that the council submit a plan on its course of action to resolve the impasse.
Cabinet has therefore requested that the the College Council submit a plan to Cabinet detailing how it will pay that $6.1 million of increment for the years 2014 to 2018 to the 243 permanent council workers. Thus far, the council has selected a sub-finance committee to meet on this matter, and then later this week, the council will meet with the union in an attempt to resolve the issue.
Government is confident of a settlement in negotiations with the Grenada Union of Teachers. The government negotiating team and the GUT have been negotiating wage increases for teachers for the period 2020 to 2022. Teachers and other public officers benefited from a 10% increase in the current cycle, 3% in 2017, 3% in 2018, and 4% in 2019. Head of the GNT, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, said government is pleased with the way negotiations are progressing with the GUT and remains confident that an agreement will be signed soon.
Talks are proceeding smoothly. We are confident that we will soon reach a settlement given the significant movement by both sides. Negotiations cover the period 2020, 2021, 2022. And we have at the stage with the GUT where we think before the end of this week, we can conclude the negotiation and sign an agreement because of the cordial way in which the negotiation took place and the willingness of the union's negotiators to reach a settlement with government, understanding the fiscal rules that I explained in the beginning.
Minister Joseph emphasized the importance of considering the fiscal space and government's spending power. He says government's decision must be realistic and feasible.
In considering how much the award should be for public sector workers union, that must be taken into consideration. So of the total fiscal space, how much will be allocated for increases? Because within that space, you have to find money to do all the other programs, all the other social programs. The seed program, the debushing program, the housing program, the same school repair must come from that total amount. And therefore the approach to this negotiation, we said, must be fact-based, based on facts and on the evidence. And so we started negotiation. The Public Workers Union and the Technical and Allied Workers Union, who have less than 100 members in the public service, came jointly to the negotiation. And at the third round of negotiation, there was no movement by either party, and therefore the negotiation was declared deadlock.
Minister Joseph also reiterated to members of the media on Tuesday that an agreement needs to be reached before the 2020 budget is presented in Parliament on November 20. Meanwhile, the Labour Commissioner is expected to meet with representatives of the GNT and the Technical and Allied Workers Union and the Public Workers Union on Thursday in an attempt to resolve the current deadlock in negotiations between the parties. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Did you join the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and have since retired? This might be important to you. Government understands that the NIS pension may be insufficient to take care of your needs. So, while it awaits the court's ruling on the matter of pension for public officers, government has taken action to protect your quality of life so that you can take care of your needs in the meantime. Persons who joined the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and served continuously in an established position for a minimum 26 years and 8 months and retired at age 60 may be eligible to receive an advance payment, which when combined with NIS represents 70% of their last salary. For more information, call or visit the Pension Secretariat in the Department of Public Administration, Ministerial Complex, 440-3767.
Continuing the news, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, Public Utilities, Energy, Transport and Implementation says the area in the St. George's Market known as Jamrock will be demolished this weekend. The ministry says the demolition on Sunday 17th November has become necessary to ensure stability and order for the smooth operation of the market in accordance with Section 15B of the Planning and Development Control Act of 2016. Vendors who will be misplaced as a direct result of the demolition were assigned booths in the market. In that connection, vending license agreements were signed on November 12, 2019, and the keys for the identified booths were handed over on November 12th as well. The ministry has arranged connection of utility services, that is water and electricity, with NOASA and GRENLEC to facilitate the full operation of the booths for the comfort of the misplaced vendors. The connection cost is being borne by the ministry as a form of support for the project. The ministry says it will continue to work with stakeholders to ensure that management of the market is in keeping with the relevant laws and the approved conservation design for the town of St. George. In a separate development, the ministry says Asphalt Crews will conduct a test demonstration with TLA Premium Cold Mix Asphalt at True Blue Road commencing at 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 13, in the area close to Bananas Restaurant and Sports Bar. It says this product is environmentally friendly and can be applied even when the road surface is wet. Asphalt crews will be on site from 10 a.m. to prepare the area. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Alrighty, folks, that's going to take care of last night's edition of the National Report, and of course, stirred up the emotions of a number of you out there. Let's start with Margaret. Margaret wants to know, where does the College Council get its funding? Margaret, that may be better directed to the GIS, or better yet, to the Ministry of Education. Ernesto says, Pamela Moses, the same senator who promised the people of Rose Hill lands and more lands just for votes. Oh, really? Okay, didn't know about that, Ernesto. T.F. Richard says, it's the first in a long time I have heard a minister really explain an impasse. Well, wonders never cease, T.F. He goes on to say, this government likes to find work for its boys. It's about time they hire a spokesman for Oliver Joseph. If the fiscal space allows, TF. John Nosinek says, John, couldn't you find a simpler name? Nosinek? Jeez. He says, Mr. Joseph, you promised all these programs. Did you work out how they were to be paid for? Just asking. Yeah. You know, I wrote a letter to Mr. Joseph last week, I think it was, asking, or a week before, asking him to appear on my program. He hasn't even acknowledged this. So if I were you, I'm not going to hold your breath waiting on an answer to that one. Not just Mr. Joseph, I also wrote to Joseph and Peter David. I wanted to have a record. You know, I keep telling you people, I ask, but I want you to see in print that I asked, hence the reason I wrote. Okay. Kipling, hold on. Ernesto says, Oliver Joseph, the cleanup guy for the administration who will sugarcoat the truth. Kipling Francis says, it's always if the fiscal space allows when it comes to giving the people what is due to them. But no problem paying phone bills for the boys. Okay, Kippy? And then TF has something very complimentary to say here. You know, the GIS, they ran a piece there from the Grenada Tourism Authority. It's a new piece they have promoting Grenada. And TF says, I must say that this ad is really putting out Grenada. Kudos. I agree with you guys. The first time I saw that, I just fell in love with it. Okay. TF also goes on to say that area as Jamrock has a nasty taste in the noses of good citizens, and its demolition is commended. Okay. Sharon, John saying good morning to you.
Morning.
And he's reminding us that Nosy Neck is his last name spelled backwards. I knew that, and I told everybody that. Doesn't make it any easier. Okay. Folks, 13 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Before I get myself into any hot water here, let me say good morning to this lady. Take a look. There she is. Sharon?
Hey.
Thanks for being patient, my girl. How you doing?
Part of the parcel. I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Nice to see you
Yes.
this morning. And once again, Sharon, we missed the beach this morning.
Yeah.
Nothing happens before it's time. It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
We're going to get back.
I believe that. All in good time.
Yeah. So, what do you have up your sleeve this morning before I start dumping stuff on you?
Ooh, lots of stuff. Well, you know us already, Caribbean people, and Christmas coming, so you start to clean up.
Yeah.
And one of the things I do when I'm cleaning up around the house, I had I reorganized my laundry room, so I had some building of cupboards and and you have debris. So what I tend to do is I hire a dumper or a skip from either Thomas or Solid Waste.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the front of my yard and get my boys, because I have a lot of boy children. So we organize a day when they clean up all debris, and put in the dumper, and then it takes just about a day because I don't normally have a lot of stuff. But I notice a lot of people, when you drive around, you see piles of garbage.
Yeah.
Not just the garbage that collected on garbage day, but debris, broken fridge, broken washing machine, old toilets, and stuff like that. And it's so easy. It costs just not even $200. And don't tell me you don't have $200 that you could get a skip. But better than that, if you call Solid Waste on certain days, they come and pick it up for free. But I feel I can't even stand to see me putting it out there and waiting for Solid Waste to come and pick it up for free. So I rent a skip, put it in it, and then call them back and say, come pick up the skip. And I pay them to do that. And I want people to know that Solid Waste is there, that you could do it for free. So there's no need to really clutter up the road, and I mean, a road's narrow enough as it is. And with them cleaning the drains and all that's going on, you know what they do? They put the grass and the dirt on the side of the road and make the road even narrower. And this couple of days we get in rain, so then it wash back down into the drain, and they come back and pick it up, and they get paid for that. And it's a vicious circle. I would like to see us stop this nonsense.
Sharon, just let me interrupt you here for a minute. We went around the island the other day, and we were coming back to St. George's via Grenada. Now, Grenada is very pristine. You just have a lot of the Granatang, the fern,
Right.
just nice green. Sharon, as you, on the way from Grenville, as you approach the lake, off on the left, we discover that some people have actually thrown a refrigerator. I ain't talking about a little box of groceries, a
A big old
refrigerator
fridge.
into the bush.
You see?
Now, when they start dumping their stuff in Grenada, which is a pristine tourist attraction, what do you expect? And then another thing that drove us nuts, and you're going to see this when we put this thing together in the next couple of weeks, as we drove around the number of derelict vehicles
Exactly.
all over the place. And you hear yada, 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 yada from the Ministry of Health, and they ain't doing diddly squat.
That they have this thing where they will pick it up and charge you, and they're not doing anything about that.
Nothing.
And another problem is the tires. Just a couple houses down from me, they do tire repair. And I was wondering, well, why all of a sudden we have so much mosquitoes? They dump in the old tires there, the rain come, they found it, the mosquitoes find a breeding place.
But speaking about tires, there's a good thing that you're also going to see when we complete this program. I think it's near the Cherry Hill. There's a gentleman who, with the help of a tour operator by the name of Mandu, has got a lot of tires, and he's filled in those tires. And on the side of the land, he has painted them. He has done a beautiful, beautiful job.
Definitely,
at beautifying the area.
I have seen that, and people could take an example from that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in copying something that's good. It's called good practice.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so those are the little things I wanted to mention. But you know, about painting, people paint in this time of the year, and you do a little scrape and paint. And I want to advise people to use a mask. Cover your face because when you're scraping old paint, you don't know if the paint had lead in it. You know, so for health reasons, just a little tip: painting for Christmas. Cover your nose.
Better safe
Minimize
than
the
sorry.
risk of getting yourself sick.
Yeah. You were sitting here this morning, Sharon, when I was reading that letter from Sandra Ferguson to Franca Bernadine.
Yes.
Look at the smile on your face. What do you think?
Well, I came in while you were reading it. I did not hear
The beginning.
and I didn't hear who it was written by. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm saying, boy, that sounds like Sandra Ferguson. And it's an excellent letter. I must go up on your side and read it properly, because when I'm reading, I could see in my head. And I wish they could listen to what Sandra had to say. And I wish that Sandra could maybe give them some one-on-one advice, or be there for them, you know, talk the talk, walk the walk, and see how we could improve Grenada, build Grenada. And, you know, my advice to Franca and the team: forget KCM. Build Grenada. Just focus on doing what is best for Grenada. We know what they have done. We know the history of them, so we don't need nobody to tell us again. So if you have to have bulldogs, have your bulldogs, but let the executive concentrate on going upwards. You know, let us have a clean slate, start over, build. So that is my little advice for them.
Well, you know, that's good advice, which I hope will be adhered to. And the other little bit of advice I would give to these guys is, and I think Sandra suggested this too, don't lie. Don't lie,
Yes.
don't lie.
Tell us the truth.
Politicians have a nasty habit of making promises that they know damn well they can't keep, okay? And hence the reason people seem to depend on politicians to do this. If the politicians don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. Well, there needs to be a change in the mindset. if the NDC is about to make people think that they are going to do everything, BS, you lose already.
You know,
lose.
You know something, George?
Hold on. Try and get the people involved in doing things. Get them to help you do things. You know, right now, I'm sure there's no shortage of advice being given to Franca and the NDC. No shortage. But how many of you have said, you know something, hey, how can I help you to accomplish these things? How many people do you think have said that?
Exactly. And you know, one of the things I want to tell you, I have been there. I'm not just one of the people that talk. And anybody from Carriacou or Pitamaratnik who knows me would tell you, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. When politicians make promises, when I stood up on platform and made promises for Pitamaratnik, I meant it with every part of me. And after the election of January 99, I started to put things in place because as far as I'm concerned, that's when they won 15 seats at that time too. And I decided, okay, I have this little island that we are going to build and make it the best ever. And when I had a meeting and invited people, like you've heard of Michael Caesar, right?
Very well.
Michael Caesar and other people who I knew very well did not support the government at the time. But that didn't mean anything to me. The important thing is we had to do the best we can for Pitamaratnik. And we put a disaster plan together and put everybody. Michael Caesar was good at talking. Michael Caesar knew how to organize people. So one of the jobs I gave him is that in the event of a hurricane, he would be in charge of shelter management. And we gave other people responsibilities and everything. And we had the first disaster plan. Before Grenada had a disaster plan, Pitamaratnik had a disaster plan. And to my horror, there were people who went to Nimrod at the time and say, you can't believe Sherron go and she invite all these NDC people to come and do that and give them position to do. I didn't invite NDC people. I invited Pitamaratnik people, and we are one people. And during the campaign time, you have a right, and it's my democratic right, to say what I want to do for the country and to invite you to support me. It is your democratic right to support and not to support. And when that is over, it is our now responsibility to the people to build the country. I don't want to hear who you voted for. I don't need to know who you voted for. That is not my business. That is your right. But this is not happening. And when I got so frustrated that they're saying, oh, this one didn't vote for us, so they shouldn't get that and that, I just say, you know what it is? Do all your own thing. And I pack up and I came to Grenada, and 2 days later I was working with Leslie Pierre at his newspaper. The rest is history.
John says, quit the mudslinging as it just distracts from the real issues.
Exactly.
Ryan says, your advocacy for Pitamaratnik is admirable. I like Franca, and us Grenada folks must support her to do the best she can. Let's think positively. I found Sandra's letter enigmatic and questioned the intent. That's my take on it. What say you, Tehran?
Well, I haven't read the whole thing. I only heard the bit that you read. And
it's a very long
I don't think
piece.
It is very long. I don't think Sandra means anything negative. What she was saying about women and pulling out NDC out of problems, I heard that from that part. And I agree with her. And I think one of the things I would like to see happen is Franca and her team meet with people, listen to what they have to say. A lot of people have things to say. A lot say and they do nothing about it. But really listen to the people and maybe start from the top and come down. Maybe start from Pitamartinic, spend some time in Carriacou, spend some time in Sates, and work your way through Grenada. Grenada is not the island of Grenada is not the only Grenada. We have other people who have a lot to say. Forget, as John said, forget the mudslinging, forget that part of it. Have your people to do that. But I think too that they should be given a chance. I listened to Mekwe talk the other day, and I was getting annoyed. I was getting emotional. I was saying, what the hell? Give them a chance. Stop beating up on them and stop criticizing and stop bringing up history. As I said then, I said, Peter Don gone. You can't be beaten up on Franca and them for what happened in the last NDC administration. You know? So forget that. Stop being negative. Negative vibration have a way of getting into and taking foothold. Yeah. Forget that. Let's think positive. Let's uplift them. Leave the negativity for the other set of people. You know, and what I would love more than ever is to see them stop this color thing. You wearing green and you wearing yellow or whatever the crap thing. Stop that. Stop. I ain't even want to say wear white because they will say no, white is a color too. Yeah. Just stop. Because you know how this color got into Grenada, right? It was a woman, I can't remember her name right now. Joan Webley. I know Joan.
So do I.
And Joan brought this nonsense into Grenada. And it took a foothold, and now you have this crap. Yellow. I remember one time taking an ambassador to see the Prime Minister. And he pulled me aside and said, Sherron, you know better than to make ambassador wear this color come into my office. You think I could tell ambassador what color to wear? Mm-hmm. So we have to grow. We have to mature and start behaving like real people.
And snap out of it and probably try to adopt the President Kennedy philosophy. Ask not what your country
can do for
you, but what you
can do for your country.
You know, to a large extent, Sherron, I understand why people have this tendency to depend on government to do this, that, and the other.
You understand?
Because them guys in government, well, in political parties, they go out and make a lot of promises, and they promise you the world. They know damn well they can't do it, but they lie to you, and you're dumb enough to believe it.
And exactly. But it starts from small. You know, they say charity begins at home. You know, in my household, actually, I'm the only woman in my household. I didn't pay attention to that, but the reality is, yeah, I'm the only female in my household. I'm not going to check my daughter because she's married and have her own household. If I ask somebody to do something for me and they didn't do it, and I ask you a second time and you didn't do it, I do it myself. And then you hear, oh, mommy, but you asked me to do that and you do it. I don't ask people to do anything for me more than twice. And it goes for everything, from my gardening, from painting. If I ask you, if I tell you that we need to paint the burglar bars, we need to rust-proof it and paint it, and you didn't do it, I'm going to do it for myself. There isn't anything that I can't do, that a man could do, that I can't do. Well, I shouldn't say that. But there's very little that my brothers could do, or my sons could do, and my husband, that I can't do. In like manner, you see stuff need to do in your country. There's a lot you could do without money, you know. And we could start from small. You see the side of the road need cleaning? Take a cutlass, and these days they have weed whacker and things, but I don't like to see the weed whacker too much because it digs the dirt and the rain come and it wash away. But there's so much we could do in your little spot. And you could organize people to help, and you come out and do our little spot. And you stop blaming the government for everything and look into them because they're totally useless.
You know, I'm sitting here trying to remember the exact location going up the West Coast last week. Mandu, Ian, and I were going up the West Coast, and they stopped to show me some work that a lady had done. This lady used to live in England. She's retired, and she's back here. And she decided she was going to beautify her neighborhood. And you should see the almond trees, the palm trees, the stuff that she has planted all on the side of the road, and the garden. She has done such a beautiful job, you know, without depending on the government.
But you have to be careful with that too, because stuff like palm trees and almond trees, their roots, when they start going, some of them have tap roots that would go to your wall, and next thing you know, your wall fall in and stuff like that. So you have to be careful and know what to plant where.
Absolutely.
You know? But I get your drift.
Make the initiative. Take the initiative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I noticed, for example, if you come to my house, I make use of all my space. So on the fence at the front of my house, I have passion fruit growing because the passion fruit like to run. And I have my spinach growing, and I'm sitting in my living room and see a woman picking my spinach. And I'm calling out to say, I said, excuse me, and she stopped and she looked around. And she continued picking. And I go to the kitchen window and I said, excuse me, this belongs to me. I planted it for my use. And she stuffed it in her bag and she ran across. Turned out she's a teacher that was on a tour with children at the Larkanad industry. Now tell me.
She didn't call the police for you?
She'll call the police for me.
Yeah, don't laugh. Go ahead, and I'm going to tell you a story in a minute.
I should call the police for her, you mean? But that is stealing. And you as a teacher, stealing from me in the presence of your students. You know?
Sharon, before I moved up here, almost 6 years ago, I used to live in Tantine, right across from the playing field. And we had a beautiful, beautiful ceylon tree, a mango tree. I mean, you didn't have to climb to get the mangoes. You could, but you could just pick them. One day I'm sitting in the house working on my computer, and I look out there and I see two little boys, little kids. They're probably about 8, 10 years old. One is on the ground and the other one is up in the tree. Now, come on. You know that school kids like mangoes. You don't mind them taking mangoes, but come and ask for the mangoes. Don't go stealing mangoes, okay? So I went out and I looked up and I asked the young man, what are you doing up there? He said, taking some mango? I said, oh, really? He said, couldn't you ask? I don't have to. I said, oh, okay. I looked on the ground and I saw his bag with his books and everything. So I decided, okay, I'm going to take it and go into my house. And when he's ready to leave, he's going to have to come to get his books and bag. He comes down, I want the bag. I see you take it. My friend told me you take the bag. I said, okay, where are the mangoes? He says, I'm going to call the police for you. You thief my bag. I said, okay. The guy leaves my place in Tantine, walks Tantine Road down to the police station. And sure, he got the police to come back to me. The man thieving my mango, you know. And he got the police to come to me. So, I don't know if the police knew me or what, but he said to me, Mr. Grind, look, this is what this youngster has told me. Waldo, what's going on here? I said, yes, sir. He told you the absolute truth, but not everything. He says, what do you mean? I said, sir, ask him, where are my mangoes? He says, what do you mean? He thief your mango? I said, I won't accuse him of thieving my mango, but he took the mangoes without asking. But he's asking him if it's true. You say, no, it's not true. The other boy, his friend, said, look, I have the mango here. The police said, Mr. Grant, do you want me to hold him so you can beat him? I said, no, officer, I'm not gonna touch the kid. But I just want you to know the truth. He stole my mangoes. I kept his books and his bag in safekeeping. Here they are. Perfect. And the police said to him, get lost. If Mr. Grant didn't beat you, I will beat you.
Yes.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that you steal somebody's mango and you're going to call the police for them?
Somebody was on my mother's breadfruit tree picking breadfruit. And when he finished, I said, thanks for picking the breadfruit. Then he said, you want one? My own breadfruit tree. So you just have to laugh sometimes. I mean,
Margaret says, Sherron, it's a pity you didn't get a picture of the act. I believe in public shaming.
yes. I'll think about it. I'll remember next time, because this morning when I was leaving home, I noticed my passion fruits, there are lots of it. And for some strange reason, they choose to face the road. There are a few of them facing inside my yard, but so I have to pay attention to them.
All right. Well, my dear Sherron, I have enjoyed the past few moments, and let me see you. Joyce C. Smith says, my grandfather always looked after the road where we lived. He never waited on the government. But that was in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Ryan says, on my vacation in October 2018, at home in Grenada, I concluded that the theft of agricultural produce is widely acknowledged as a cultural norm.
Yeah.
Look at all the pretty larceny that goes on in this place.
I told you what happened to me last year with my pumpkins. I was marking 12 pumpkins I had down in my garden. And every day I would check, and this day I went to check, and I had 11 and a half pumpkins. They took 11 and left me half. They took 11 and a half and left me half.
At least they left you something.
Well, I wasn't going to use it. And you know, somebody told me the other day, I offered somebody a moringa tree. I said, would you like a moringa tree? She said, no, man, I have one. I said, really? She said, yes.
Is that so?
Yeah, just so, yes. I said, okay. And the reason why my children laugh at me, but I refuse to buy roast corn or boiled corn on the side of the road. My father died how many years ago? 5 years ago. And the year before he died, he loved farming. So he planted his tree, and we had corn, the whole back of the house. And this guy passed and asked him to sell some corn. And he said, no, we have a big family. The corn is not for sale. And the next morning he went, and they picked 100 corn. And they broke each corn they picked, they broke the tree. And I sat and looked at my 90-how-much-year-old father cry. And from then, I refused to buy roast corn. I don't care how much I like roast corn. I'm not buying roast corn because I don't know if it's my father corn that thief.
You know, I used to buy corn on the side of the road, especially by the post office down here on the corner. And somebody said to me, George, you should stop it because a lot of that stuff is stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I refuse to buy it because I don't know. For me to buy your corn, I have to see you grow corn. Like I would buy corn from Skipper because I know he have his farm and he grow corn. But other than that, no.
Margaret says they sit the lazy ASSES down and don't plant a thing, and then go and steal hard-working people's produce.
Yeah.
Remember the days when people, fed up with theft of their produce, would stick pins and needles and other stuff in their produce?
They still do.
I heard that.
Just the other day, on the news, somebody bought avocado, and it had needles in it, and it's because that person must be fed up of people stealing their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I would never advocate that, but I can understand why some people go to that extent. But
No, but what we need to do, if you buy something and you bring the police to that person who you bought from, because obviously they stole somebody's produce in order to sell it. They wouldn't, or then again maybe I don't think they'll stick their stuff and then still sell it.
yeah,
They would know.
No, I
You
don't
know,
think
so it's sad though, because people work hard. And I mean, in Pitamartinic, going back to Pitamartinic, we have a problem there every year with during the dry season, with people just letting their animals go. And some people plant their stuff and the animals just go and destroy it.
You know, I don't know if you heard the program on Sunday. Sunday I was giving Cashton Hood hell for showing up here late. It was the third consecutive appearance he made late. And he decided to take a turn in my tail because he was complaining that my gate outside there was closed. Now, you know I keep the gate closed. Not that I really like to keep the gate closed. It's inconvenient for people who drive up here with a car. But Sharon, I have a neighbor just down the hill here. 9 goat and sheep. And he just lets them loose. And they come into the yard and they eat everything that my landlady plants. So I have to keep the gate closed.
Right. I understand. Because when I have to come out of the car to open the gate too, I'm like, oh God, so George will know I'm coming.
Exactly. You know?
But yeah. No, people are very inconsiderate.
Oswald Darbo says predial larceny is a scourge.
Yes.
And I have heard so much yada, 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 yada about it, and diddly squat seems to be done about it. This thing has just been going on for years.
And you know something? If you set a trap, like if you electrify your place, you get blamed.
You're the one who's getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Somebody
oh man.
came to me last year and they said, why you don't pick your limes? Because I have a lime tree with big pretty limes. And I said, I didn't go down to the garden for a while. I was away. I came back and she came to Bedo. Why don't you pick your limes? I said, I wasn't aware that I had limes at this time. She said, yes. I said, how you know? She said somebody came to sell limes to her and she asked them, where you get these pretty limes? And I said, oh my goodness. Needless to say, I went and I picked my limes.
All right.
But that's...
Listen, on a parting note, I understand that they picked up the person who committed that atrocity in Pitamartinic, eh? The person who
Yeah,
killed...
you remember last week I told you they gave themselves up.
Okay.
He gave himself up and took the police and gave them his full confession and the clothes he was wearing and all this. This is just sad.
What I really didn't understand, they said this person died from strangulation.
He strangled him with his hair, according to... The guy had long locks and he strangled him with his own locks, apparently.
But they also said this man was found with a lot of stab wounds all over his body.
Yeah.
So after he killed him, he stabbed him?
Yeah.
Sick.
You have to wonder about anger.
Sick.
What I think is there's a lot to it. You have to be real angry to do that. That's what you call overkill.
Anyway. Okay, Sharon.
But please know that Pitamartinic is totally safe.
You know, that's a point Odinga has been trying to strike home to a lot of people, and I really admire the work she's doing. Eh? Both you and Odinga, you guys are really standing up in defense.
Odinga's mom is like my sister. She grew up with me at our house. I wouldn't go to Pitamatic if I didn't go see her.
Where's Odinga from?
From PM.
She's born in PM?
Born and bred PM.
Okay. I thought she was
Both
from...
mother and father Pitamatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sherron, thank you so much, my dear friend. And I don't know what to say about the beach. There was somebody asking about the beach earlier on this morning. But no, we haven't. But we're going to get back there.
We'll get there. Ansha said tomorrow, so once Ansha is going, and I have a little issue of driving right now. I'm having some issues with my left leg. So I don't want to drive. I'm not driving. So if Ansha is with me, I could take the risk of driving because she's a driver.
Okay.
So I know I'll be okay. And she lives right next door to me. So once she's coming, and she said she will. She said tomorrow is a good day.
Okay.
So
I can look for you guys tomorrow?
We'll pick you up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes? 5 o'clock is good. It's cold, but guess what? There's a moon out.
Oh,
we
yeah,
had full moon.
Yeah.
Is it full moon we had 2 days ago?
Yeah.
I saw Marcel's pictures, and at 5 o'clock yesterday, the moon was still up this morning.
Oh, man. So that's something to look forward to, even if the water may be a little bit nippy. Yes. By the way, Oswald Pele Darbos, he was talking about the way you were describing this incident in Carrick, the way he was killed. The guy was killed, he was strangled and then stabbed. Oswald says, like he killed him dead. So sad.
You remember our parents saying, if you run and fall down and you kill yourself, I'll kill you, Kill you dead.
Yeah. We're a very unique people. God has blessed us. Thanks a lot, Sherron. You take care, my friend.
You too.
And we'll see you.
Alec, we're starting work on the house soon, and I'll need your help.
Sure. What do you need?
I got a service application checklist from Grenlec's website.
This looks easy.
It is. We need a new service.
That's option A.
So wherever there's an A, that's something we must do in order to get the service.
So the other things without an A don't apply?
Exactly. The checklist shows us what documents to bring, the fees, and how soon we'll get the service.
So that you realize for all services, we must complete the right application form, have a valid photo ID, and a certificate from the electrical inspector?
That's right. The electrician will help us apply to the ministry for a certificate of inspection. So we'll use the checklist to get everything we need before going to Grenlec. This will make the process smooth and save lots of time.
Okay, might as well get started.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, will give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you. Welcome home.
Alrighty, folks, just before we go, hold on a sec. Sherron is still here. And I want you to know the reason why she's still here. Sherron, just go explain everything to them for me, please.
I said this morning I deliberately wore my West Indies cricket shirt to let you know that West Indies actually whitewashed Afghanistan 3 matches in a row. The one-day cricket, 50 overs. And somebody said to me yesterday, you're proud of West Indies beating Afghanistan? Of course we're proud of beating Afghanistan. One step at a time. So, yeah, we beat Afghanistan in India. We won 3 matches in a row
yesterday,
and won the series.
Yesterday when Ray was here with us, he was saying, man, yeah, the West Indies won. I just can't wait to hear from Winty, man. Winty. Would you tell Winty to contact me, please?
I will. So proud of the guys. I mean, yesterday, what's his name? From, oh gosh, just gone out of my head. I think he's from Barbados. Shea Hope won man of the match. And Chase won man of the series. I mean, they have a new captain at the helm, Pollard, and Karen Pollard, and I think they're going to be doing good things. So look out for West Indies, and yes, I'll tell Winthrop to get in touch with you.
Please. Ray was so excited yesterday and a little bit disappointed that our friend was not available to talk with him. But I'm hoping that he's going to find some time. Okay. On that note, Sherron, hang on a sec. Parting word, my dear friends, from the Holy Scriptures. Today's reading comes to you from the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 15 to 18. See, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. For I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, and to keep his commands, his decrees, his laws. Then you will live and increase, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns away and you are not obedient, and if you are drawn away to bow down to other gods and worship them, I declare to you this day that you will certainly be destroyed. You will not live long in the land you are crossing the Jordan to enter and possess. Pilgrims, kind of hard for some to take, I would imagine. The Word of God. Deuteronomy 30, 15 to 18. Let's see here. Oswald says the first whitewash away since 2011. Oswald. I should get you, Ray, and Winty to sit here with me one of these days. Pilgrims, that's going to do it for Georgie Porgy on this Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. May the good Lord bless and keep you. By his grace, let's get together with AB tomorrow morning. Salam.